this inefficiency in here. We mentioned that yesterday live. And we worked past it a little bit, but that's reasonable. You also have to remember that this wick in here, you have to draw that out. We hit pretty much that level, just a little bit past it, which for your notes, when we are talking about wicks and the consequent encroachment of that, I treat that PD array the same way I treat a volume imbalance. A volume imbalance is this: a separation between two candlestick bodies. They can be connected with their wicks, but the separation between the two, that makes it a volume imbalance. Volume imbalance and consequent encroachment of wicks or tails of a candlestick, they are, in my mind, permitted to be traded through, and they can be revisited. But the context is it's going there to allow for trades to be taken in between these two boundaries, okay, the bodies of the candles. So that's why you're going to see this right here. Many times when I've talked about volume imbalances, folks expect them to be so pinpoint precise, like a order block's opening price or a fair value gap high and low, okay, where many times they can act as the very definitive boundaries. Volume imbalances and consequent encroachments of wicks, you have to be flexible with them. Okay, allowing them to be a target is wonderful. Allowing them to be reached into as a beginning of a setup, but not holding true to they only stop it. They absolutely can be pinpoint precise, but there's a certain characteristic that you have to allow for those specific PD arrays. Now, it's not in the sense that allow for 50 handles past it, 10 handles past it, but just coloring outside the lines just a little bit more than would be acceptable for a fair value gap. Like acceptable for a fair value gap would be like a small little movement outside the high or outside the low of it, and which is what I call Mohawk. A consequent encroachment or a volume imbalance, it can go past it just a little bit, and for the sake of general rule of thumb, it can go, for futures, it can go 1.5 to 3 handles past it. Once it goes past that, then it would have to revisit it, coming back up to it, and then show respect of it there. And that's how I would use it. But if it goes beyond that measure, and for Forex, you would use it for like 3 to 5 pips. Futures is a little bit tighter because it's a more gentlemanly market. Forex is a little bit more Wild West still. So because of the broker spreads and the variance between what broker you may be trading with, they can open their in-house liquidity up on you and run against you because you're not really trading in the same pool of liquidity like a futures market is. Everybody's trading the same liquidity. Forex, it simply is not as advantageous for precision. It can be. You've seen me do it. You've seen my students do it. But I'm speaking in the specifics about a volume imbalance and or a consequent encroachment and the allowance for moving beyond it and still being acceptable as a PD array. So just make sure you put that in your notes.